It's the NFL on EA Sports, and we've got the two teams who met in Super Bowl 55. It's the Bucs and the Chiefs on Monday Night Prime Time.
From one of the loudest venues in the NFL, there's a look at Arrowhead Stadium here in Kansas City. Coming up is a rematch of Super Bowl 55, as it'll be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Happy to be on hand. I'm Brandon Gunn with Charles Davis. And before we kick, partner, your keys to the game, please.
Well, my keys are on the defensive side of the ball for both teams. And the big one, making sure you avoid giving up the big play. These safeties are going to get tested all game long. Their job, keep the ball in front of them, tackle people, make them run extra plays in order to try and score.
Here's the kicker, Harrison Butker, ready to get this one started. And we are underway from Kansas City. And the opening kickoff will not be returned, as that will be a touchback. So out come the Bucs now for their first drive. Under center, it's the 2017 Heisman Trophy winner as you get a look at Baker Mayfield.
And he's a guy who plays with a lot of emotion. He's learned how to channel it really positively, because when he throws the football downfield and makes a big play, he'll be the first guy downfield to celebrate with you. But also, when his team needs that confidence, when they need that jolt, they turn to him, and he's ready to provide it.
A man who grew up right here in Kansas City at Center High School. It's Rashad Wright. And showcasing those strong legs on that run. Getting through one tackle. Now she winds up getting 8 there. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field of the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling, and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
And Godwin going to have a Bucs first down as he'll get this up past the 40. It's a 9-yard gain, and it'll keep the drive moving.
Well, they obviously read man coverage their partner, and he got downfield, broke down the defender, made him
What do you mean by that, Bert?
Yeah, he made him think he was going to run a different route. Probably thought he was going to take it upfield. Then he curls back inside for the completion.
First down, Mayfield. The pass is caught by Cade Otton. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. It's a gain of 11, and the Bucs have a first down.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
First down, here's White. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
Second and 5. Working out of the gun, Mayfield. It's caught by Mike Evans. And he'll be brought down with a first down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 29-yard line. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks. That early game script that they drew up is working pretty well here on this first drive. Already in field goal range, Charles knocking on the door of the red zone.
You know, Brandon, when we met with the coaching staff, they kind of predicted that they would come out firing like this. I think you and I were a little skeptical that it'd be this easy. But they certainly knew what they were doing in scouting, in preparation, and understanding what their team was capable of.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
It sort of looks like they stopped some fight in them on this series, because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But if this defense gets 2 more stops, they can keep them out of that area.
Here's 2nd and 10. Now Mayfield. He's going to take a shot for the end zone. And Evans hauls it in. Touchdown, Bucs. Mike Evans, 29 yards. And the Buccaneers are on the board first here on the road in Kansas City. Not a bad way to start it.
And I think that was part of their script, because so many teams script their opening possessions. And whether it's just that possession or even deeper into the half, sometimes it's 15 to 30 plays. That had to be one in there where they call it.
And now before we get to the extra point, remember all touchdowns do have to be confirmed by the replay official. They're taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds, and obviously a big call here in the end zone.
And not just the feet. How about the hands? How's the ball possessed while the feet are hopefully getting down in bounds? That's what they're trying to look at to see if it all comes together.
After review of the play, ruling on the field stands.
So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. Chase McLaughlin on for the extra point. And that one gives the Bucs a 7-0 lead. So this drive spans 7 plays. And it's Mike Evans who caps it with a touchdown reception. Following the touchdown, here's McLaughlin to kick off. And he returns this to the 22. Here's the Chiefs offense for their first possession, and it's Patrick Mahomes at quarterback.
And when you think of Patrick Mahomes, you start to think about all of his attributes, and you realize very quickly you can't just put him into one box. No matter how the game proceeds, no matter what is needed, he tends to have an answer for it and plays accordingly.
Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their own 22. They'll try and start this drive in the air. It's complete to Brown, right side. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Brandon, to me, what's important right here on this drive is for them to get at least 2 first downs. They've got to give their defense a chance to settle down, catch their breath a little bit after they give up a touchdown on the opening drive.
From the 31, here's 2nd and 2. They fake the give. Now Mahomes. And it's incomplete.
This is part of why this guy's got multiple MVPs on the mantle. We're used to seeing him make the impossible throws, but here Mahomes knows he's got nothing, so he wisely just gets rid of it.
After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. They'll try for the first with Pacheco. Give him the 3rd down conversion, 5 yards on the play.
Plenty of things to talk about here, partner, but to me, their defense gave up a touchdown on the first drive. How about how they're responding, coming back? That's a big 3rd down pickup to keep their drive alive.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Now here's Mahomes. The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. 23 yards, the final tally.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
So from Buccaneer territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 41. Mahomes now to throw. That ball caught. It's Rice. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. That's now a pair of explosive plays in succession, both north of 20 yards. Their first possession of the game, and they're already going after double coverage.
That's a nice completion that can set the tone for things to come if they're able to keep finding ways to beat what the defense is throwing at them. They look like they're confident that they can get it done.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Maybe just a lack of concentration there as he couldn't haul it in.
And when you're going across the middle like that, you know, he's running that drag route, you are conscious of all the bodies and the traffic in there. But let's face it, if you're going there, you might as well come down with the football and absorb whatever else happens after that.
Back to the air on second down. It's Mahomes. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And the Chiefs are going to have a first and goal coming up as the tackle made at the 3-yard line.
Well, Brandon, obviously no panic in them. They gave up the touchdown. You know, their defensive side did that. But he's already taken them back downfield. I love this field general that they've got. It's almost like he went to the defensive captain and said, don't worry about it. We've got you. Now they got first and goal.
Yeah, we're seeing punch, counter punch, and this could be setting the table for quite the game.
I like that. Let's go ahead and put it in the boxing.
Touchdown! Noah Gray from 3 yards out. And the Chiefs respond to that opening drive touchdown with 1 to go.
This is where, as a tight end, you've got to really sell that this is a run. They're going to fake the give, hope the linebackers bite, and here they do just enough. That split second, that's all it takes for that tight end to leak out into the end zone. Touchdown.
Harrison Butker is on for the extra point. It's up and good. So these teams match touchdowns here in the first quarter, and we're tied 7-7. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much as he's marked out officially at the 21. Tampa Bay, they're getting ready to set up shop here for their second drive. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
On second down, they'll run with White. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21. 7-7, our score after 1. Second quarter now, and it's Buccaneer football as they've got it with a third down coming up. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. On third down, Mayfield. And this is going to be incomplete.
This is what you want to see from the defense. Give up an opening drive touchdown, that's fine. But how about them going back out there, recommitting themselves to the task at hand, and forcing a 3-and-out and giving the ball back to their offense?
Fourth down, so Jake Camarda is out there. And a fair catch called for and made just inside the 35-yard line. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And it's Chiefs football, 1st and 10. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. Here's Pacheco to begin the drive. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Play action. Now it's Mahomes. Short throw hauled in by Kelsey. And Kelsey's going to have a Chiefs first down as he'll get this across the 50 to the 49. It's a pickup of 6.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
A throw out wide caught by Hopkins. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. The end result, 21 yards. That's how you draw up the run-pass option right there. You get a chunk play out of it.
And you know quarterbacks love to throw the RPOs because oftentimes they're in-breaking routes, but receivers love it even more. The ball gets to them quickly, allows them to put some moves on in the secondary.
Throwing on first down is Mahomes. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Brown. That'll go for a gain of 7, and it'll be 2nd down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
From the 21, here's 2nd down and 3. Again, they'll throw with Mahomes. This will be caught once again by Brown. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down. Operating from the red zone now, Mahomes. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Right up to that point, I was about to say he's had a pretty good half catching the football, but let's just be honest about it. He should have caught that one.
And he knows that. That was one right in his breadbasket and one he normally catches. Now a 2nd and 10. Now Mahomes. And he comes back with one complete. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling held it to an okay game.
And inside the 5 here before he's out of bounds right at the 3. The gain of 5 that time gives him the conversion and makes it 1st and goal.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver trying to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline.
That is caught by Rice. Touchdown, Kansas City. A 3-yard touchdown pass, and the Chiefs have taken the lead. There was no going through the progressions on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, nor was it necessary. His receiver won that route early, presented himself, no reason to wait. Go ahead and put it on him and score a touchdown.
Butker now to add the extra point. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. That time a 9-play drive. And it's capped off with a Kansas City touchdown. after the touchdown. Here's Butker on to kick it away. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. The Bucs ready to take over once again. That 7-0 lead of theirs short-lived as they've now given up 2 straight touchdowns to fall behind by 7.
Yeah, but no cause for discouragement here. Yeah, they've fallen behind, but haven't they proven that they can go down and score? So what was the formula that got them down there the first time? Get back to something close to that, and maybe they can get this game tied up.
Mayfield now looking to throw on first down. Looking for Godwin, and he's got him complete. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
We've hit the 2-minute mark of the second quarter. 14-7. Line of scrimmage, the 28 now as they come up on second and a couple. Mayfield. Right back to Chris Godwin. And Godwin going to have a Bucs first down as he'll get this up past the 35-yard line. It's a 7-yard gain and good enough to move the chains. First down now, but the clock continues to move. Mayfield to throw it. And the Chiefs are going to get it. Trent McDuffie getting the chance to blitz and finishing it off with his sack.
Okay, I'm not sure you could actually draw a better pass rush than that one right there. Nowhere to go outside. He had to keep backing up and backing up and backing up. Eventually dropped for a huge loss.
Well, they're in some hot water now after that sack. It's 2nd and 21. Throwing, Mayfield. And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make third down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big third down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
On third down, a run from White. And he'll get this one up to the 26. The Chiefs now going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Jake Camardas in on now to punt this away. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. So possession goes over here on the punt, and out will come the offense as they take over. The Chiefs going to go back on offense here late in this first half. And with a 14-7 lead, they might just be happy to take this thing on into the tunnel. On first down, Mahomes. Pitch and catch here to Travis Kelce. Nothing on that one. It'll be second down.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end. A guy that you can line up anywhere. In the slot, out wide, in tight. Doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. Now Mahomes throwing on second down. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far. But on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion. Throwing now is Mahomes. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. And again, it's Mahomes. And that one will fall incomplete. The clock here now just under 30 seconds to go in this first half.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. Mahomes will try again on second down. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he's got this down to the 35. The Chiefs have got the passing game rolling a bit. And another first down. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. It'll be spotted on the right hash, a 52-yard attempt. Buccaneers kick here is good, and they will move up by 10 now, 17-7. So a big play before the end of the half to get them into this spot, and they cash in with 3.
How about the 1-2 to the solar plexus on that one? The big play, the field goal, not much time left on the clock. That's the way to go into the half.
So still time for the kickoff here. 1 second to go in the half as this one is away. So we've come upon halftime here in KC with the Chiefs on top. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, back to you two in just a bit. But first, welcome everyone to downtown Orlando and our EA Sports Halftime Report. We were treated to an excellent first half from the gunslinger, Patrick Mahomes. He fired his guys into the lead with 2 first-half touchdown passes as they were looking like a well-oiled machine in the first half of play.
A 10-point game, 17-7 the score as we get back to it on EA Sports. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. Here comes the Chiefs offensive unit as they'll have it to begin quarter number 3. And Charles, they've got the lead. Put your coaching hat on here now. What's the game plan for the second half?
I think getting the running game going a little bit more, because I thought in the first half they didn't get it moving the way that they would like. They had success throwing it, but I think these first couple of drives, they'll want to get those running backs going and give them more opportunities, and I will guarantee you that those guys were lobbying for them in the locker room at halftime.
Now a deep ball here, hauled in just past the 50. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
On 1st and 10, here's Pacheco. And not a lot of daylight, not really any daylight inside, as he's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Brings up 2nd down. Well, we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
And this is going to lead to another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Bucs 33. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Here's Mahomes to throw. That's complete once again to Hopkins. And inside the 20 before it's brought down. This duo locked in, 14 yards there, and a 1st down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive.
Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Levante David. And the Bucs are going to get the football back at their own 17. So it was a drive that had real promise here to begin the 3rd quarter, but ultimately derailed by the INT.
And that was the position you wanted to be in. Coming out to start this 3rd quarter, get a nice drive going, looking for the end zone. Possibly got a little bit too greedy right there.
Here comes the Buccaneers offense. They get their first reps of the 2nd half. Now they just got a little help from their defense forcing the turnover. Now can they make that payoff in points?
They need to, partner. They're down on the scoreboard. Need to take advantage of those opportunities, and this is a good one right in front of them.
Now Mayfield and the Bucs come up on 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line. They'll start here with a handoff to White. And boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. Then he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom, quick, and what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
3rd quarter on a Monday night with a 2nd and 10 coming up. Now Mayfield. Finding Sterling Shepard for his first catch. It's a gain of 11, and the Bucs have a 1st down.
To win any route, you've got to break down the defender, and that's exactly what happened here on this really nicely executed curl route.
They will run with White out of the shotgun. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
Got it here at the 29 on 2nd and 8. Here's Mayfield. And that's going to be too high. Out of bounds and incomplete. It's been a struggle for him accruing yards in this game passing the football. So there's a, hey, I'm going to try to chuck it deep, but another incompletion.
Has to be a little bit frustrating because of what you just described. It's been a struggle for him here in the 2nd half, hoping for one big shot to get him out of the doldrums.
From the gun, Mayfield. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Looks like another empty possession offensively. And you're at that point in the game where you can't afford too many more of these. So this is going to require some heavy thinking on the sideline to figure out what they can do to crack this defense.
Here comes the Buccaneers punter now as he's on here to punt it away. Hardman on the return. There goes a 42, making a 43-yard punt, 6 on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. And now here comes Kansas City. A big mistake last time they were on the field, tossing that interception inside the red zone and really taking away what had been a pretty successful drive up to that point.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any question about it. As they head out on the field for this drive, that whole offensive unit is just thinking redemption. You know, they moved it really well, didn't pay it off. This time, they want to make sure that ball ends up in the end zone, and they're the ones possessing it.
Levante David in on the tackle. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
Pacheco gets it again on second down. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. That goes for a Chiefs first down, 14 yards.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the third quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly at the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
Meanwhile, Mahomes' throw complete there to Rice. And this is going to lead to another first down as the tackle's made at the Bucs' 34-yard line. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
My next teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. He can only cover for so long.
And in for the Chiefs touchdown. Rashee Rice, his second touchdown of the night. And the Chiefs are able to extend their lead in the final seconds of this third quarter.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical. That's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the third quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
Extra point by Butker is on target. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
1 quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. We're back now in KC. It's Buccaneer football, but they've got work to do. They find themselves behind here to start the 4th quarter.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break. and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
2nd and 10. From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. He completes it to Evans. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. It's a gain of 11, and the Bucs have a first down. A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
So it was already a gain on the completion, but tack on some more with that penalty.
Absolutely, and no matter what angle you're making the tackle from, you can't grab the face mask, and that's just putting your defense on its heels just a little bit more.
So now factoring in the face mask, here's 1st and 10. Now a give up the middle. This is White. And a good-looking run there as he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18-yard line. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
From the red zone now, Mayfield. And they're going to get him. He's sacked back around the 28. The Mississippi State man, Chris Jones, with a sack there.
Well, many times when you talk about mobile quarterbacks, you get the sense that they feel like they can get out of any bad situation. They keep moving around and trying to emulate guys like the Scrambler or the Dodger. Instead, they keep losing yardage and digging themselves a hole that they can't get out of.
So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done. Play action now. Here's Mayfield. Going to throw deep for the end zone. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
And they're at the point of the ball game now where they've got to take some chances. They've got to put the ball in the air and just see what happens. But this defense knows that all too well.
7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. They run straight ahead here with White, and he'll get this one down to about the 27. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
And he's brought down. Can't do anything with the football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. The Bucs trying on 4th down but come up empty. And the Chiefs defense comes up with a stop.
Now, you know I don't often have sympathy for quarterbacks, but in this situation, I don't know what else he could do. 4th down, so he can't just throw the ball away. He's got to find a way to try and make a play, but the pressure ended up getting to him.
Pressure got to him. Really big sack and a turnover here on downs. Coming out with a jumbo package to start the drive. They'll start the drive here with Pacheco. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Good gain there on 1st down. It keeps them in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him. Ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down. Hate to be blunt, but it is just continuing to prove to be the case that this O-line is manhandling this D-line right now.
They deserve to roll up their sleeves and show up their biceps because they're doing exactly what you just described, manhandling the defensive front. They've got the leverage, They are powering through, and they're controlling this game.
A little bit of space there for the first down run, as that's going to get him about 5 yards. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Chiefs in possession of the ball as we welcome you back. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
I like the call there because that was one to take time off the clock and get them closer to getting out of here with a W. In the mind of the play caller, all you want to hear is tick, tick, tick.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. They set the man in motion too late. This is going to be a delay.
Delay of game. Option.
Now the offense knew it. They were already starting to walk back as that one is accepted.
Still 3rd down.
Bad time to get a delay of game penalty there. Not that there's a good time, but that makes it 3rd and 6. Mahomes going to throw. That is caught. And this is going to lead to another first down as the tackle's made at the Bucs' 27-yard line. The drive stays intact with a pickup of 13. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
They show run with 3 tight ends here on first down. Headed straight, it's Pacheco. He'll take it inside the 25.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves and start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. So this one in the win column for Kansas City. And, you know, it wasn't a shutout. They did give up the points in the first quarter, but second, third, and fourth quarter, they held them scoreless.
Brandon, if you throw a shutout for quarters 2, 3, and 4, you're going to win a lot of games in this league. And this felt a lot like, almost like if you said baseball, and the pitcher goes through the lineup the first time, and the hitters get to say him, and then they come out after that, and the bats start blazing, right? I think they saw their best